Hello, a warm welcome to the first day of Anti-Self-Bullying Week. My name is Emma Ward and I run Imagine Your Image as a confidence and life and style coach. My background is actually in primary school teaching, and I bet you if you asked any child at school what a bully is, they would list the same 5 things. They would say a bully is someone who says nasty things, makes you feel bad, somebody who pushes you over or just pushes you physically, somebody who is constantly comparing you to other people and telling you that you're not good enough or not as good as others, and somebody who just generally makes you not want to come to school and not enjoy that time of your life. Now, I actually work with women who want to develop their self-esteem and their self-confidence. This came from me having to go on my own journey because I was actually bullied as a child, and when I left school I really thought that my life would change. I thought that suddenly something different would happen and I'd feel confident. But unfortunately that didn't happen, because in actual fact, even though I'd left the bullies and the school behind, what happened was that I continued to bully myself. So let's think about what a bully is, and let's think about what a self-bully is, and they have exactly the same traits. Somebody who's a self-bully is someone who is always talking to themselves in a negative way, putting themselves down. Somebody who will constantly push themselves harder and harder and not let themselves have a break. Someone who is a perfectionist, who is always looking at the next thing and telling themselves that even though I'd like that, I can't do that, I can't be that. And somebody who generally just hold themselves back because they just don't feel worthy. So at school in the UK, we have something called Anti-Bullying Week, and that inspired me to start this week-long 5-day video series where I'm going to, every single day, talk about one of the traits of being a self-bully and what you can start to do about it. So we're going to start with day 1. So I'm going to say that most people would agree that a bully is somebody who says horrible things to somebody else. Now, are you doing that to yourself? Are you telling yourself that you're not good enough? Are you telling yourself that you're not attractive enough? Are you telling yourself you're too old to do the things that you want? Are you telling yourself constantly that you're stupid? Whatever it might be, most people have something that is going to be there in their head, that when they go forward and try something different in life, it's always there. It's always that constant reminder, almost like something on your shoulder just saying, oh, you can't do that because you couldn't do that because of this. So whatever that is, what I want you to do is I want you to be aware of it. A lot of clients that come to see me, they realise that they have the negative self-talk, but they don't realise to what extent. And that is actually the first step to overcoming it, to start to develop a more nurturing and loving way of looking at yourself and talking to yourself. So what I'd like you to do is, with your notebook, I would like you to spend a bit of time today, and I would like you to write down the top 5 things that you say to yourself that you know are negative. So for me, it was always linked to my appearance. So I would write down, I'm ugly, I'm not attractive enough, I'll never look good enough to wear X, Y, Z. So I want you to list the top 5 things. If you've got more and you've got 10, say, then you can do. Don't do any more than 10, because otherwise you're just going to find yourself feeling too overwhelmed. So on one side, I want you to write what is obviously the negative. What is it that you're saying to yourself? What is the self-bully actually saying to yourself? And what I want you to realise is that self-esteem and self-confidence, which is what I work with my clients to help raise, is actually all to do with what it says. Self and esteem is to do with respect and admiration. So self-esteem is merely having self-respect and self-admiration. And you can't do that while you're constantly listening to that side of you that is being very negative. Now, I'm not interested right now in knowing where that's come from. You don't need to know that right now. You don't need to think about that right now. What we do need to do is to start developing a much more loving and nurturing way. Now, a lot of self-help books and coaches will talk about the importance of writing affirmations. Now, an affirmation is just a statement that you all write and that you want to program your subconscious mind with, because that is where it's coming from. You've developed inside your mind, you've got your conscious mind and your subconscious mind. And your subconscious mind is merely running the same program over and over and over, which is negative. Now, I'm all for absolutely knowing the positive and making sure that you are talking to yourself in a positive way. The only problem is that if I was to write down my negatives and then on the other side write down the positives, if I'm still at this point where I feel really negative, then by telling myself I'm beautiful, I'm good enough, all that happens is that I read that positive affirmation and I just say, no, I'm not. No, you're not. And it ends up being another bit of information that my self-bully is storing up and just reminding myself and giving me more evidence that no, you're not good enough. So what I want you to do today is, after you've written out your 5 or possibly 10 comments that you know that you're constantly saying to yourself, I'm stupid, I'm not attractive enough, I'm too dumb to do this, I'm too old to do that, whatever it might be, on the other side, instead of writing the positive, I want you to write the neutral. So we're talking about middle ground here. Now, obviously, we want to get to the positive, but there's too much discord from the negative to jump straight to the positive. It just doesn't work. It ends up being you just reminding yourself that you do feel like a bit of a loser. So I want you to, on the other side, I want you to just literally write something that is linked, but it's just purely neutral. So basically, you're telling yourself, I'm okay. Now, I'm okay is fine, and clearly we want to get to I'm good enough, but that's not going to come in just 1 or 2 days. That's something you need to retrain your brain. And if you've been like I was in the past, when I'd been self-bullying myself for years, you cannot jump straight to the positive. So take your notebook and then, like I said, write on the other side. I want you to write a neutral comment. So for instance, if mine was I'm ugly, it would be I look all right. Because I tell you what, believing that you look all right is a hell of a lot better than I'm ugly. So if you could do that to every single one, and then just start to, every time you hear your self-bully coming in and making yourself very aware of the negative self-talk, I want you to just literally stop, and then in your head I just want you to repeat something neutral, just saying I'm okay. If it is I'm not good enough, I'm all right. I'm okay at my job. And then, like I said, eventually I want you to get to the point where you can say the real positive, because that's what's going to really change your life. But you have to do it in a small step. And those small steps will have a huge, huge impact on your life. So that's your homework for today. I hope that you manage to spend a bit of time to do that, because it really does make a difference. Because remember, self-esteem is exactly what it says, having self-respect. And you can't have self-respect or self-esteem when you're constantly telling yourself that you're a bit of a loser and you're not good enough. So I want you to be aware and then turn that into just a neutral. If you've got any insights or you want to leave any comments, I'd love to hear from you. If you'd like to email me with any questions, then please do. But until tomorrow, make sure anytime your self-bully pops up, whatever it is, I want you to stop, be aware, and then make it into a neutral. Thank you. Until tomorrow, take care. Bye-bye.